So the slide is titled, Why Does the Shadow Self Matter? And one of the points are when you don't understand your shadow self, you end up repeating the same patterns and accidentally sabotaging yourself. And that's quite true for people that have perfectionism. They want things to be perfect and they never get there. If it's to create a course or to build something, they just sometimes don't even start because it's, the thought of it not being exactly how they want is kind of overwhelming. So it is important to understand them, because otherwise you could always be angry at somebody or angry at people, angry at life. You could be jealous. You could be fearful. And it's not until you actually go in and do that shadow work, like firstly, acknowledge it. And then secondly, do something about it. Acknowledge it and go, okay, so this is why I react. It's because of either this thing that happened as a child or as a kid or as a youth. This is what happened. How can I deal with that? Now, you can never get rid of them, but there are ways in which you can change your automatic reaction to them. And it could simply be as easy as just pausing, as just stopping and thinking about it, either diffusing the situation, walking away, making, excusing yourself from whatever could potentially happen. But it is important to, one, acknowledge that everyone's got them. Two, ones that are very specific to you that you say, yep, that's part of my shadow self. And three, what can I do about that? Like, how can I deal with this automatic switch of me looking at Instagram and saying, hey, this guy's got a really nice car and he's half my age. Like, how dare he do that? Like, what's that in me? You know what I mean? The other part of the slide of why the shadow self matters is once you get to know it, you can respond on purpose instead of reacting without thinking, which is basically what the shadow self does. Like our shadow behaviors, they just react and we don't think, because that's how we've grown up, essentially. It's it's almost a form of generational trauma, as they say, right? If you look down the line, families of drinkers and families that have violence in them, it's because they copy, and that's kind of how things work. So the other, here it is here. I've got a slide. It's called the skinny. Do you know what the skinny means? If I said to you, here's the skinny on something. Oh, that's hilarious.
Never heard of it.
See, that's another thing I have to change on the course now. the skinny, but at the 411, you know what the 411 means?
No.
It's like, okay, here's the deal. This is the
that
deal
an age thing?
Maybe
Generation thing? I don't know.
It could be a hip hop listening thing. So basically, the skinny of the shadow self is your shadow self isn't your true identity. It's just the unprocessed pieces of your past trying to keep you safe. Understanding these pieces gives you more calm, more clarity, and more freedom from the patterns that have been holding you back. That's pretty much essentially it. I have and I do have some steps that are very basic in terms of what you can do. And these are just pointers. So with your shadow self, firstly, one, you can't get rid of it. It's going to be around. Might as well make friends with it because it's not going to go away. You have to accept it. So one, acknowledge that they exist, and not just for you, but for basically everyone in the world. Two, you have to accept yours. Like, this is who you are. You are angry. You clam up. You basically disappear. Whatever it is, you claim it. So there's that saying, what is it? If you name it, you claim it, kind of thing. Like, just accept that what it is, you claim it, that is actually you. You need to work on it. Instead of flying off the deep end because your kids have said, hey, I'm going to be late, to work, and you take me now, sort of thing. Instead of flying off and going, why don't you just pause? That's a difficult thing to do, because you're basically trying to insert something that is so ingrained in your life that you're going to miss most of them, because life's reactionary, right? You just do things because someone told you to do things, like an email pops up, your phone comes along, and all of these different things. And so to insert something that's going to disrupt the natural flow of life is extremely difficult. So out of the 10 automatic times when your shadow self has reacted, you'll probably be lucky to catch one initially, but you'll start to get there. the last thing you can do with your shadow self is basically supercharge. And I'll go through a couple of those points later on. Time pending, obviously.